We have been like on a mechanical failure
We have been
just
mechanical
journey.
failure journey.
I know the van, and I mean, you even Stephen. Oh, excuse the name. Our friend was trying to kneeboard, and you even almost sucked the
I
rope
sucked
up
in
in
the whole rope, and it
the
got into our
boat.
jet drive.
Almost
and
broke. Like he didn't.
I was like stressed because I thought, oh my gosh, and it was
The
like
last thing we need.
and I was like, oh, it's like chewing things up, and I was like, I was cringing, like I was puckered. I was puckered. I was just sitting there. All I could see was dollar signs.
I was.
No, I'm definitely full of energy this morning.
It's not morning.
I feel like it. I had an early morning this morning.
Oh my gosh, I know.
So
Well, you saved my parents, which was very
I
nice
did.
of you.
We went to. We were at your parents' last night for her
My
birthday.
mom's birthday. Don't you dare say her age. I feel like you almost said it.
It's amazing.
It is incredible. It's absolutely incredible.
She's
She'd
one of the
murder
most
you.
vivacious.
She is. She absolutely is. We're just moving all
High
around
energy.
here.
I mean, I can think of a million words to describe your mom.
All good ones.
And yes, for
Yes.
real.
She's amazing. But anyway, it was her birthday last night. I cooked her dinner, and it's been a lot of cooking for just numerous events this
And
week.
you know what's
But
crazy?
wait, we got to finish the early morning story.
Okay, got it.
Story.
This
This is much later in the afternoon than usual, and so I'm losing it. But we were there last night, and I cooked dinner, and Chris was like, he did eat like a pretty big plate, but he was eating.
We had chicken fajitas.
Yeah, I made fajitas. They were disassembled fajitas, actually.
Yeah.
So it was like with no tortilla shell. But anyway, Chris was like, is anybody else hot in here? And he literally like has his napkin. He's like wiping his forehead. Like, I don't know, did I eat too much? He's like, I feel like I got the meat sweats. And he's like dying.
I was so hot. I was like,
so-
am I the only one?
I know. And before you said anything, I think everyone else was like doing halfway decent. But then and you actually let it go for a while.
Well, first of all, no one moves. No one checks anything. They don't see if the fans are on. They don't check
Well,
the
and I
AC.
had been cooking.
I take it upon myself to walk
But
over to
not
the
yet.
AC.
I mean, I had been cooking. We all ate. Like, I had been cooking for a while. And so I was like, I'm really hot. Like, I've been cooking. And we also cooked earlier in the day at the studio. And so I had been sweating for like 24 hours. And I was just like, this is just me now.
It's just an extension of the day.
Yeah, it was just me. But you did the dishes, and then afterwards, like an hour went by, and you went over to the thermostat.
I don't. It was way sooner than an hour.
You were quite
because it was
hot.
after dinner. We weren't there an hour after dinner.
Yeah, we were. We played cards even after. But anyway,
Yeah, we played some more cards.
we were there.
Who was the grand champion?
I don't know, but
That would be this guy right here. Another reason to be super excited.
anytime I talk about games, yes. But he goes over to the thermostat, and he's like, "Oh, this is
I was like, it's 79 degrees in here, guys.
hello, anybody?"
Is anyone else hot?
So it was like set to 74. Leave it to my mom. She goes over. She's just like hitting the button down to like 65. It was like, Mom, if it's on a lower number than what the current temperature is, like no matter what, it should
doesn't
kick in.
matter.
Like you can keep hitting that button. It ain't
gonna
gonna
do
get any
anything.
colder. And my dad's like, you did what?
And the worst thing is that, when I left here, or when I was about to leave here with you
Yesterday.
we're going to go straight there. I literally, because of what happened on Father's Day, and
Right.
I was kind of on call. When you're the owner of a company, you're just on call, right? Depending on what service you do. And we own a temp AC franchise company. And
Called Stay
I
Cool
forgot
Tonight.
to turn it off on Father's Day, so I had a call. So this time, I thought to myself, you know what? I guarantee you I'm going to get a call.
It was a
on your-
special family occasion, so he intentionally turned it off.
So I was like, I'm going to turn it off. But I almost threw a couple temp AC units in the car just
in
to
case.
have with us, just in case a call came in. I could just be like, boof,
Just
like,
go.
No, 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 no.
Batman.
Batman.
But so I was joking with them. I was like, "Oh, in the beginning of the night, they were like, that was so nice of you to turn the business off so you could enjoy, this experience. And I was like, oh, it's really unfortunate. We're aware of a temp AC company, but don't think
Can't help you. I turned it off.
Tonight. Yeah.
Turned it off a couple of hours ago.
No, so we told them to let us know if anything came up. And
we got a text at 2 a.m.
text at 2 a.m. Please.
Now, typically I wake up throughout the night and I check. Now, I will tell you, there was a point where I rolled over and I tapped my phone to see the time, and I saw a family chat message. I didn't see the contents, but typically there's always late night texts. Oh, thanks for coming over. We had a good time. Right. All that kind of stuff. Didn't think anything of it. But when I got up at about 5:45, I read the text and I was like, oh my gosh.
I know. I woke up to you waking me up saying, it was like 5:45.
I was like, I'm going to go put AC in their place. I'll be back.
And I was like, they're not up.
Yeah.
It was like, I was like calling them on repeat.
I'm texting them.
I was like, take the key.
Meanwhile, the good folks at Stay Cool Tonight were headed over there.
I know. They were on their way. So that was, and it's been a lot of cooking. We've had some fun doing some cooking shoots in the office this week and filming.
How do you feel about the budgets you've been given?
For
cooking?
Good.
Yeah.
I'm not recalling my budget at the moment, so I feel pretty good about the fact that.
So one of the new things that we're doing is we're making a lot of food preparation content for one of our companies, and Beck asked me when she came in, she's like, "Hey, what's my food budget?" And I actually had put $200 a month for food, for creating food, for the month, assuming that we were actually going to do I was thinking like $50 a week.
I spent $39.
You spent $39,
and
that's why I said, "Great job."
Yes,
you stayed on budget.
I know. We fed the office this week, but then also we went over. One of our good friends in town had a baby, and he's about 6 weeks old now, and so we were going over to meet the baby for the first time. And I committed to making them a lasagna. So when I went grocery shopping, I was grocery shopping for 2 film shoots, my mom's birthday, and a meal for our friends with the new baby. Mm-hmm. And I had like 2, plus Publix has been out of Spindrift, which is like our favorite sparkling water, and it's BOGO, and they finally had some. So, I mean, when I tell you I was stocked up, the lady was like, "Would you like another cart?" I was like, "No, I'm okay." They like insisted on giving me another cart. They insisted on having the guy help me out. I was like, really and truly.
And what's probably really funny is that you're checking out with like 3 different receipts.
I did.
Right? And it's like, you're sitting there like, okay, we're gonna pay for this with this.
I was that
person,
card. Yes.
We're gonna pay for this with this card,
and
then this with this card. And then people are sitting there. I always feel like when I do something like that, they're probably maxing out each of their cards.
Right, like they have no money.
I have $5 on this card.
Yeah, this one will decline.
Put the macaroni in on that card, and then you kind of move
the
down
macaroni.
The line. Yeah, the macaroni. It's $5. Add cheese at $6.
I know, but it was so crazy because having a new baby, I just felt like being over it. They have just so many items and devices. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's like, this is the bottle for this many weeks. Then it gets a different top. And this is the bottle dryer. And over here is the bath for the bathtub. But this is the bath for the sink. And I'm just like, I don't know.
Well, first of all, it's amazing how many more. Like, I didn't think baby tech could get cooler.
I know. It's insane.
But when I saw like that one bath chair, I was like, okay, seriously, people, who's the dude or woman that came up with this and was like, hey, we're going to create a contoured mesh plastic thing that submerses in the water and soaks it up, and
it's insane.
It's perfect temperature.
Well, I actually got in a hilarious conversation with my parents the other day because when they were flying back from Boston, and I'm completely fine with this, but my dad was sitting next to a woman on the plane who was breastfeeding, and my dad just happened to say to my mom, like, "Oh, you didn't notice?" My mom was like, "The woman next to you was breastfeeding," and my dad was like, "Yeah, though, twice during the flight." And so anyway, I said, it's really crazy now. They have these things that you can literally like put in a bra or put under a bathing suit, and like it's battery powered, and it just fills up.
And just
I mean,
happens.
the technology is insane. I've never seen anything like it before.
No.
I've actually never still seen that in action. But, yeah, it was so funny.
Well, what's crazy is like, so many years ago, people would just like put their hand in water and be like, "Oh yeah, this is not hot, it's not cold." Now they have like lasered, like, okay, it's actually 83
you got to
degrees.
check the temperature.
They're checking temperature to the exact degree.
I know, it's wild. Yeah. And I said to our friends, I'm like, trust me, by the time you have like a third child, and like everyone says, like, the first child, like everyone's like, oh my gosh, and the third child is just like this
just like,
heathen.
It's like,
who's
what's that
just trying to
character on
survive.
Charlie Brown?
I don't know.
It's like the one with the dirt that just kind of circles
exactly.
around it. That's your third child.
Is that not Linus?
It might be Linus.
I'm so bad with anything. Names, actors, shows, songs.
But you knew
lyrics.
what I'm talking about, though.
I do.
His name's be like Tumbleweed or something. Like,
but anyway, I think the third child can probably sit in a 105-degree bath.
I can't get over these. I know. Well, that's what these measuring things. Like there's 3 of them now that I'm aware of. So like we use them at Stay Cool. It's like, hey, we check to make sure blowing cold air. It's like you put your hand up. It's like, this is freaking cold, right? But it's like we prove to the customer, like, look, it's blowing 63 degrees. And they're like, yeah, it's set to 63 and it's cold.
So we're good.
But we got a device for it, and then we got one for the pizza thing, right? So it's like, hey, this pizza's.
I know our pizza oven. We were talking
500
about
degrees.
Yeah, you're like literally taking the temperature of the air.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's amazing, and the fact that we care to get so precise.
I know. People buy these things.
I know.
He's an engineer. He's infatuated. Like, he really is.
I really am. I mean, some of these things are like just amazingly cool and fun. And of course, we forgot to put the timer on again.
That's okay.
No big deal.
It's an afternoon. We're completely fine. But this week was also busy because, first we had a great weekend at the lake again. Your sister was at the lake with us.
Yep.
And they were very sweet. They actually got a bunch of groceries and brought them to the house. But she put them all on the counter and she was like, okay, have at it. And I was like, oh no, it's...
we're typically our mind shift has changed, because before we're like, no, do not come with anything. We will take care of it. You are our guest. We'll do that. What do you like to drink?
I know.
We will take care of you. And since we've reduced our budgets to grow our business instead, now it's like, okay, so yeah.
Well, if people offer, we're like, yes, please.
Yes. Now if people offer, we're like, yes. And then we start adding things. My sister was like, what did I say to her? She goes, oh, we're going to bring some steaks. I go, as long as they're the good ones.
I know. And she was like, you've got to be kidding me.
She's like, what do you mean by that? I'm like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, you still have high expectations. Even we're gracious people.
We're
don't
very
worry.
Gracious.
Yeah,
But then we ended up making like a mountain of.
Oh, it was so good. Yeah, it was tons of fresh, just shish kebabs and vegetables. And
I was thinking of the.
Oh my God, the chicken salad.
The chicken salad. Oh my God.
By the way, speaking of making food on a budget, that was insane. I got 2 rotisserie chickens and chopped them up.
How much are those? $8?
I didn't look.
You didn't look at the price.
I'm still learning. But anyway, I put onions and celery and fresh dill and made a nice little sauce. It was so good, and it lasted us like all week. We had lunch.
Well, yeah, we had sandwiches Saturday, Sunday, and then we brought the rest home and we made sandwiches
had some on
at the
Monday
office.
in the office. I know, which fed our little intern. He's not little at all. But we did have an intern in town this week, which was fun.
We did, yeah. My roommate from college, his son is interested in business. He's in DECA and some other programs, and Chris was like, if I'm going to send him down to do an internship, he can get exposed to so many different things, working at our office, because we're in software and franchising and food products.
And everything.
And everything. So he came down here. We had like a 2-day boot camp. Got started really early. We were making seasoning.
It felt like a boot camp for me.
It felt like a boot camp for me. I'm sitting there like, this is easy. I get up at 6:30 every day. And like he left and I was like, holy shit, I need to sleep in.
I know, I'm so tired.
It's like you're trying to give the experience like, hey, when you're young, this is how it's supposed to be.
I know.
And then when you get older.
And you really did. You got it. But we did kickstart Sunday night. We came straight home from the lake, which we didn't even talk about the jet ski breaking down in the middle of the lake, which we have been like on a mechanical failure
journey.
I know. The van, and I mean, you even, Stephen, excuse the name, our friend was trying to kneeboard, and you even almost sucked the rope up in the
whole rope, and it got into
boat.
our jet drive.
Almost broke. Like he didn't.
I was like stressed because I thought, oh my gosh, and it was the
like last thing we need.
And I was like, oh, it's like chewing things up, and I was like, I was cringing, like I was puckered. I was puckered. I was just sitting there. All I could see was dollar signs.
I wasn't on the boat, thank goodness. I have to just. I feel like I'm in this new like Zen era where I'm just trying to like.
You're doing that for me so that I'll calm down.
Everything's
It's like,
breaking around me, and I'm just like, it's okay.
yeah, we had a jet ski that broke down in the middle of the lake. We went and got him, brought him back, and it wouldn't start at all. And it was like, and I was like, oh, this just sounds
You're
expensive.
full of sound effects today.
Yeah,
That sounds like Stella last night. I can't stop with the names today. That's my little niece.
Yeah.
She's like super intelligent, but really
I
into
think
being
the
a cat.
whole name thing's like a self-imposed thing for us. Like, it's not like we didn't ever read like the blog post etiquette guide that said
This
don't
is
mention
not a
people's
blog,
names.
it's a podcast.
This isn't the podcast etiquette guide.
I know. I know. It was just more to protect. You know what it was? Is when we were talking about finances or personal issues or
Correct.
arguments.
We don't want to
We don't want to like throw people out there.
But when it's our
there's
life,
no
we
association.
can say our friends. We love them.
Yeah,
so.
we're just making up rules as we go.
Unless they break our shit.
Nobody's broken our shit. I broke a bowl today.
He actually didn't do anything. It was just right time, right
I
moment.
know.
And
He was nervous though.
a friend of mine actually grabbed the skis. And they were staying there throughout the week. They're there for 2 weeks, and he was like, "Hey, do you want me to drop this off
They
at the
took
marina?"
them.
And you said to me, "You're like, look, we just laid out for this engine. Like, it was kind of like, let's not know. Like, it was better to not know the damage."
I was like, just
and I
let
was
them
just like,
sit
I would
there.
rather know the damage and then plan for the damage.
Yeah.
And
we have a bunch of family coming for the
4th of July coming up.
All the
and
kids, well, they're teenagers,
these teenagers
and adults
are coming.
now.
They're going to want to ride on them. So I was like, you know what? If we can swing it, we're going to do it. And so he dropped it off and he called me up and he was like, it's $13.
I know.
And I sat there and I was shocked because I was like, I thought for sure we were looking at $1,000.
I was so happy.
I was
couldn't
so happy.
believe it. I think you.
Yeah.
Oh, everybody.
If I was
around
capable of
for that
tears, I
one.
would have cried. Tears of joy.
Tears of joy. No, but it was great being at the lake, and I'm glad we didn't break anything serious. And then we'll go back for 4th of July. We still got to get everything prepped. We got to go pick everything up. So
Yeah. No, it's going to be a good holiday. And one of the things, we've talked about this multiple times when it comes to holidays and food gathering, and then, who brings food. And in the past, we have always been very much pro, like, hey, you're our guest, we'll take care of you. And this year's a little bit different for us. So
you just said that.
I know I'm saying it again, but specifically for 4th of July, we're sitting here and it is a conversation where we're like,
we'll plan different meals.
hey, we're going
and
to
stuff.
plan some meals, but because other people are going to be there, it's more like, hey, let's all kind of meal plan
Someone
together.
does a different night or something. Yeah.
Yes.
I like when families do that together, and it's like, okay, you've got Tuesday, so you really only have to worry about one
Your
night.
family's really good about that on
Yeah.
your side.
Yeah, for sure.
But your aunt, she really takes care of us too when we're,
When we go to the cottage.
But you know what? They're also big, what do you call that when you put food in a dish and you bake it?
Oh, casserole people.
Yes, you are casserole
Well, we're
people.
from the Midwest,
If you're
You gotta have
Midwestern,
a
you're a
good-
casserole
You gotta have a good
person.
casserole in the
My mom used to
Midwest.
make, which I think it was called Captain's something,
I'm ready.
Captain's dish or something. It was like a chicken, broccoli, cheese.
Oh, chicken. Okay.
Chicken Captain's dinner or something.
Okay.
It was one of like 2 things that she could cook without burning.
You said captain, and for some reason, I just thought it was some sort of like tuna casserole.
Yeah, well, it was like a tuna but with chicken.
Okay.
Like a tuna casserole with chicken.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of casseroles. I definitely grew up with a few of them, but
Yeah.
in my
I
adult
love
life.
casserole.
No, I've avoided them like the plague
Yeah.
as I've grown up.
I love her breakfast casserole and her lunch casserole. We never have dinner casserole because we're usually doing pizza or going out.
Chicken van.
Ooh, that is a dinner casserole. Chicken divan. I feel like your family named that after,
No, they didn't. It's a real thing.
Is it really?
I have an Aunt Diane. He's like, was that hers?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah,
Oh my
chicken divan.
gosh.
I'm literally thinking like she is the inventor.
The inventor. But no, it was good. We went from the lake this weekend to having him in town. But it is so interesting when you're training somebody on what entrepreneurship looks like. In fact, on Monday morning, the cleaners were here. We do get the office cleaned once every 2 weeks, which in the beginning we weren't able to afford. And so
We're still not able to afford it.
I know. I was thinking that we really should have told him, like, oh, Monday's our cleaning day, and we're going to clean the toilets.
Yeah, no, it would have been
saved on
one hell
that.
of a start.
I
his-
know, that
his
would have been
entrepreneurship.
horrible.
So-
We were nice enough. But he literally was like, I'm not going to give him any breaks, and you can have a granola bar. So I brought him a sandwich the first day, but bless him, he probably thought I was going to save him the second day, and I got so busy.
No.
I
We had
didn't.
no lunch on
And that-
Tuesday.
It was like the first day he had a huge breakfast in preparation to starve, and then I tricked him and brought him a sandwich. So then Tuesday, he started at 6:30, and the poor kid, he
He had like a
12-hour
leftover
day.
muffin from like the place before and brought it. And
Withering
matter
away.
of fact, we do have some posts here on budget banking and our shorts and some other things. So if you see him there, we did a podcast, him and I, just talking about his life. I mean, it's really cool. You know, I love seeing young people who have a plan.
Yeah, he's
put
got a lot
something
of
together.
aspirations.
And,
It's awesome.
It's super exciting. It'll be fun to see him grow up over the next
Definitely
100 years.
And he read the budget banking book too, which was cool to just like hear his take, because we were just talking in the office the other day too. It's like, while we as adults still need direction and instruction, even you and I, on what to do in certain scenarios with budgeting. We were talking with our coworkers, and someone was like, what if you created a book for kids? Because I think sometimes parents don't really know what lessons they should be teaching. Like maybe someone...
I think people just stumble through.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But it would be good to create a version for the younger
Absolutely.
generation,
Well,
how to get started, how to build credit, just really important things as you're becoming a young adult.
That's the goal with Bree. She's in accounting and going to be graduating in December. And the goal was to kind of roll out a young adult version that was really keen on someone who's single, who's getting started. She actually had a credit card when she was, I want to say 16 or 17. We had got her that credit card, Discover card, and started building up her credit. And so she was able to, then she was able to get a loan, which we only got a loan just so that she could have something to pay on, so that she could.
It was a
actually
small
have
loan just to build credit.
Just to build credit.
Yeah.
And she didn't even use any of the money.
Showcase that she can pay something off. And it's
so a lot of those things were just, we designed just to kind of build up. So anyways, to see him, what he's got planned and how he's going to get college paid for and the scholarships he's going after and the places and what he's going to get a degree in. So, and he plans to go in the military, really, really big on Navy or Marine Corps. So, yeah.
Following in his dad's footsteps.
Yeah, his dad likes sheep too.
You thought that was funny.
I thought that was hilarious. You teed me up so well.
I know, I did. But I feel like I've been
Speaking of animals.
I was, oh my gosh. I literally was going to say.
Our pet insurance went up a ton.
I know. I feel like I've been arguing with people on the phone all week trying to take care of different things.
So what was it before and after, and what's changed?
Yeah, so I do think pet insurance is an interesting thing to discuss, because a lot of times people would never consider getting pet insurance at all. And
not my mom.
What?
Not my mom. She would never get pet insurance. I don't think my sister would get pet insurance either.
Yeah, probably not. And they have horses. They've
my
got a lot of
brother.
horses. But anyway, I've had dogs in my life before where I haven't gotten pet insurance. And if they start to cause problems, or they, have surgeries needed or anything like that, then you're faced oftentimes with the decision of saying, we either aren't going to pay for the surgery, or we can't pay for the surgery, or it seems like a lot for something that's not a guarantee.
Money, it's like...
It becomes a decision maker with your pet. It is not the only one, but it plays an impact. And so anyway, I've been in situations before where it's like, one surgery was just as expensive as years of insurance would have been to cover up until that point, and could have probably covered even more. And so for our dog, when she was very little, we got pet insurance, which actually ended up being great for us because we live in Florida. The allergies are terrible. And she's wound up, we've been getting hundreds of dollars back on
for her
the allergy medication that she needs. And so it used to be, honestly, it started like $50 a month. It does change, like based on the breed and based on the state and based on how old the dog is. But this was extortionate. I mean, it went from 50 to 60, which was fine. It's been 60 for 2 years of her life. And now she's 3, and it's gone up to like $110 a month. And it was like,
that's ridiculous.
What in the world? But I called them, and first of all, we're grandfathered into some like great plan that doesn't even exist anymore, where once you pay your small deductible, they cover up to 90%, which is huge. And they're like, well, we can put you on smaller plans for less money, but it's, 50% or 70% after the fact. So it's like, well, you're going to pay less every month, but based on how much medication we get every month, we would be losing. So it was kind of like we didn't have a choice, but it's just inflation turning its head again on one more thing. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
That is absolutely crazy.
I know. And speaking of prescriptions, I feel like I've been on the phone to the pharmacy. We barely have anything we need, but it seems like pulling teeth these days with doctors to just get a prescription filled.
Which is really crazy because a lot of people that I know, it's like you don't really start making money as a doctor until you get much older. And it is really hard to get in contact with these doctors.
I know.
It's like they're seeing so many patients and going from door to door to door.
They book their schedule. I would love to see. I don't know if they do like appointments every 15 minutes or if they literally overlap by 5 minutes and like you wait like a year to see a doctor for 10 minutes. Like I would love to see the schedule because sometimes doctors are like an hour behind,
But it also could be charting and things like that.
Yeah.
That they have to do the paperwork back up, which is, from what my sister said, can be quite
It's the worst. My sister
thing.
too. Yeah, we have family in the medical field, and the charting is the worst part for sure.
Yeah, I never really understood that.
But all the technology
it's important to document
is
and
on
stuff.
computers these days. You go to the doctors, and everyone's just like typing in there. Yeah.
Today's the day of sound effects.
Yeah, and then I had to do some other.
So I wanted to cancel the insurance.
The pet insurance. No, that's great.
And then you're like, no, we're going to pay for it because we're going to still come out ahead with the Apoquel, which is like a couple $100, and we end up getting $100 and some
we
back.
pay almost $300 every time we refill her
that's a
medication.
Lot of money. That's like a car payment.
For
nose
dog
medicine.
with
I'm kind of
allergies.
like, can we give her Sudafed?
Oh.
No, seriously. The neighbors, I mentioned that we were given Apoquel, and they're like, oh yeah, they said we could do that, but then they were like, yeah, just go over and get the over-the-counter stuff. It's fine. It'll be fine.
What neighbors?
I don't know. It could have been Jeremy. It could have been. It could have been.
The ones that I wouldn't.
I don't know.
Trust.
No. These are all trustworthy people.
Yes,
So-
we have great neighbors. We do. But anyway, so we're keeping the pet insurance. I do think it's important. I mean, obviously, look at your plans and your options. And here's the biggest thing. While it's silly when they're, 8 weeks old to get insurance, just like any insurance,
It's cheaper if you get it when they're younger.
well, it's just better to get it when they're younger because they're not going to cover for any pre-existing conditions. So just like a human, it's like if you didn't have medical insurance and then you were like, oh, I have cancer, now I need something. They're like, well, anything you had prior, we're not going to cover you for.
I'm surprised someone's not out there picketing, like, no pet pre-existing conditions.
What?
No, like people are sitting there out there. They're like, they don't like
They got
trust
plenty
me, they
of
fought
stuff.
this fight.
Plenty of stuff
people
to
just run
picket
out of things
about.
to picket for. So I'm thinking this is probably a good of cause of it.
There's
if any.
some good events going on with picketing.
Yeah. I think of a lot of people just, I hate to say underfed, just fed their dogs the right amount. I feel like too many people overfeed their animals.
There'd be less problems. Well,
Yeah,
you
so
are
it's just like
very
with
good.
humans,
We
yeah.
have kept our dog. She's like a ninja.
She's
she really
not a dog.
is.
She's a ninja warrior princess.
But she's very fit. She literally can fly.
Yeah.
Pretty
I
crazy.
mean, the reason why she can jump as high as she can is because she's not overweight.
Right.
She's not carrying an extra 5.
Everyone
10
can't believe.
pounds.
Well, she is small. Was the runt of her litter, but no one can believe she's actually 3 years old because
I know, because she's so beautiful.
I know. And then I did have some of the last logistics of transitioning from my old job to this new life of mine, which was just transferring
401k?
the 401k. Yeah.
Any issues there?
Oh, I mean, there's been
Tons.
issues around every corner. No, it was interesting actually. So my employer, when you have a 401k, it can stay there for as long as it needs to. You don't have to take it out or move it anywhere. It will continue to build because it's not set with your employer. It's set with the company that they contracted to manage the 401ks. I wanted to take it and move it because I have all of my funds from previous jobs and 401ks as well as my personal accounts in a consolidated bank with my financial advisor, which, it's hard to determine what bank to go to, financial advisor. That's a whole nother discussion. But I love mine. And So we were moving it over, and he was great in terms of facilitating all the conversations, reaching out to the company himself. He knows how it works. Like, that was the benefit of having someone on my side who has done this before for a rollover, is that he knew, who to contact. He literally got them on the phone, and then once they were on the phone, did a 3-way call with me, so I didn't even have to wait on hold. Like, it was very much so a white glove service. I appreciated it. But of course, the way my employer set it up was like, you need to add a third-party authorization signature. And that was like, we went around the world to figure out who that was and how it needed to be. Of course, it's like, you call them, they're like, oh, you need to get with the HR team at your old company. The HR team's like, you need to get with them. And so I was just like, okay,
just
people.
the merry-go-round.
Yeah. But it all worked out. So that got moved over. And I think that is like my slate clean completely.
That's amazing. I logged into my 401k, and
I didn't even know you had one.
Yeah. And what's really crazy is that I opened it up, and because it was with a company that I guess when I got out of the Army and I worked for KB Home, I had a 401k there. So I logged in and I was like, holy shit, there's $200,000 sitting in
Why
here.
are you saying that?
I'm just saying that to see your reaction. There was actually nothing in there. But had I actually contributed to that 401k at KB Home,
I don't know what's the truth right now.
20 years ago.
What's in there?
Nothing. There was nothing. It was literally nothing.
We've talked about transparency.
Transparency. No, literally, if there was something. Well, it reminded me, the anticipation of clicking into that. So it was like, you have a 401k with KB Home, and I thought, holy cow. I mean, I knew I didn't move anything. I don't remember contributing, but I thought maybe there was some magical money sitting there.
And there wasn't.
And there was nothing there.
You know what? I actually do believe you that there was nothing, because if there was something, I would have heard about it.
Oh, we would have had a new boat.
No, we wouldn't have had a new boat, but you would have been like, a miracle just happened.
A miracle. I always say
He
that
always
because
says
these
that.
things do happen. To
Yeah.
me.
Anytime
So-
like we're in a pinch or we're, things happen that are unexpected with the engine. It's like the day before some other bill is due or something else needs to happen. He's
Yeah.
like,
I mean, everyone, if you're a small business owner, you know what I'm talking about. You're sitting there and you're like,
I can't remember.
You know what? There's a lot of things going on. You're like, it would be really good if a miracle
there
dropped
was
from
like
the sky.
some old bank you had did some like pay.
Oh my gosh, I got a huge check
That
from
was
USAA for
wild.
insurance for 20 years. And I was like, are you kidding me?
It was like
It came out of nowhere.
out of the blue, and something that you had been doing for
Yeah.
20 plus years. And
When
then
I
all
was
of a
younger,
sudden
when I was in the Army, we're talking like early 2000, like, 2001 maybe, before 2001. And we did a lot of day trading in college because that's when like the .com boom and everything was going on. And I had logged into my day trading account and I had like $3 million in it. And I was like, oh my gosh, how in the world did this happen? Well, a stock that I had invested in, and it was probably at, 50 cents a share. Well, someone had keyed it in wrong and it went to $50 a share. And so the ask, right, the bid or whatever was 50 times my shares. And I had this. And so literally between
So
the
it
time
wasn't
I
real.
woke up, whoa, it was real for like 3 hours. So from the time I woke up at, we'll call it 5:30 in the morning till the time
you
of market
weren't waking
open.
up at 5.
I was in the Army. Trust me, I'm
Okay.
being generous when I say 5:30. Till the time of the market open at 9. So for those couple hours, I just sat
You
there
thought you were
and I just
there.
stared. I was probably, I probably did cry tears of joy. I was like, I have $3 million in my bank account. I'm 22. Like, it was amazing. And then of course, the moment the market opened at 9 o'clock, it went back down to my realtor number. And I took a screenshot and I think I might have put it up and be like, one day we'll reconnect.
It will happen. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I know. We should definitely go play the lotto or something.
Why? Because when something bad or crazy happens, my uncle, we as kids growing up, anytime we
You
traveled to
always
go
used
hunting,
to say, if you don't play, you can't
if
win.
you don't
or
play, you
something.
don't win. I always tell that. And he
I
would
never
always
play.
get
You've
a
got
ticket
your
out of
crazy.
state.
Just yeah.
I look at it as like a mathematical challenge. It's like, even though every mathematician's looking to break it, there's a handful of people who have broken it, or found little glitches.
Yeah, that movie's
and
great.
things. There's a couple movies about it.
Jerry and something. I can't remember what it's called.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because it was, Jerry and Gwenamine.
Thelma.
Thelma and Louise.
Just,
Bonnie and Clyde.
I know. Well, we are
Chris and Becky.
putting it into the universe. I know. On that note, I'm gonna take off and Go buy a Lotto.
Are you? I don't know. I don't think that's going to get. I say that, but
I
that's
don't
the
have the
moment where you
budget
sit
for
there.
it.
We don't have a budget for that. So, but I do say if you don't play, you're never going to win. So, I actually had to put together a mathematical thing, and it was working. And I was like, I brought you in because we had watched that movie. And it gave me
He
this
brought
courage.
me in because
was
he was doing it for weeks. Then he won $1,000 one day, and he was like, "I feel like I should tell you because I started winning bigger money."
Yeah, I had created a mathematical model based off of
it was a fun little game for you for a moment in time.
And I did it. I was up a bit of money.
The minute you told me, you started going down. So maybe you should have kept that one.
No, I didn't go down. I didn't go down. There's other reasons, and I decided that this was silly. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, we wish everyone the best of luck if you're going out there to buy yourself a Lotto ticket.
Yeah. Hey, just a note on that. They tell you not to play low numbers because everyone plays birthdays in the first 30 numbers. So people pick birthdays, the day of the week, stuff like that. If you pick the higher numbers, the 40s and the 50s, those numbers will tend to hit more and you'll be a single winner because the lower numbers, too many people pick. And that's why the Lotto goes so often without hitting. So there are some crazy math. If you're into that type of thing, which I love reading articles about that and learning because the math excites me. I'm an engineer, so the math excites me.
I've said bye 3 times and you just...
Oh, were you saying goodbye? Oh, okay. Well, hey, we're gonna see y'all later. I think we're gonna have one more chit chat before the 4th of July. But,
yes, we will. We'll wish you a happy holiday weekend.
Yeah,
we'll talk about all that.
So, thanks for listening, and we'll
go win the Lotto.
Week.
Let us know about it. Give us some credit since we told you.
Give your numbers. Here we go as the fade out. 2, 7.
You just said 12, don't do low.
18, 54, 62.